Hey, what's going on guys? It's Dazs here. In today's video, I want to cover an in-depth walkthrough of various sniper shots with case-by-case scenario and usage. This video is going to be a longer one, so be sure to settle in. If you're new to the channel, I am a sniper enthusiast and have been highly ranked and regarded for sniping in the Battlefield franchise. Specifically, I'm known for getting kill after kill for montages, and I want to share my knowledge, either new, old, or a refresher for some, so you can use this knowledge and how you can improve. Having this knowledge in your back pocket is vital, and no matter what, will help you in your journey so you can ask yourself, what skill do I need to practice and improve? I want to talk briefly on sensitivity. If you need more info on sensitivity, I cover this in greater length in a dragshot tutorial down in the description down below. But to cover briefly by stating that the goal is to find what feels comfortable for you. Comfort is everything. What feels comfortable to me is using 0% sensitivity and 1800 DPI, which is 17.45 inches per 360. There's no right and wrong on PC or controller, but what is wrong is using a sensitivity that hurts during long sessions, can't get adjusted to over a few weeks, or if you notice you're constantly overshooting and undershooting. In which case, I recommend you record your footage and take notes on trends and habits. I noticed this and actually slowed down my sensitivity as an example, but only did so after practicing and locating the issue. To become a good sniper, you need to have repetition and comfort. You miss every opportunity you don't take. If you do not take the shot, then you cannot learn. Some ways to practice this is repetition is going into the practice range and shooting targets, using web browsers to practice like Aim Booster, Aim Hero on Steam, or playing rounds with the intent to learn and memorize. But the goal is to get comfortable with your weapon of choice. For guides on each of the guns, to help you and find your weapon of choice, I got those in the description down below. And if aim is not your problem, then most likely it's positioning. And I also have a guide for that also listed in the description down below. So now that we got that quick info out of the way, and you got your weapon of choice, we're going to discuss various types of sniper shots and some case-by-case scenarios when you use each of them. I will utilize some of my previous montage footage to give references for best case scenarios or extreme situations. The lead shot. So the first shot is a lead shot. This can be classified as the hard scope. This shot is the easiest for sniping as you are predicting the movement of the enemy and have your crosshairs already lined up for the kill or about to line up the shot for the final kill. You have to handle the least amount of muscle memory as you already predict your shot ahead of time and just need to wait to fire once everything is set up. As you can see from the clip, it lets the enemy fall into your hands. Either it be the enemy coming from around the corner, waiting for them to walk into your crosshair, or when an enemy is 80 spamming and is predictable. Shots like these help you most learn the velocity of the gun and the bullet drop when you are just starting out, because visually it is easier to see when you made your mistake. If you want to see visually when you shoot, be sure to keep your cursor held down and look at this later if you recorded the footage and just memorize it. The test range now offers this with a large red line so you can see where the bullet travels and also the velocity. This skill is developed simply by seeing, and if you cannot see it, you cannot memorize it over time. We all have a level of photographic memory, you just need to see the picture in your head and where it should line up and predict it. This is your basis, and your base needs to be strong and correct because just going for the simple shot, it needs to be right. Remember, each sniper with a different velocity or bullet drop from various battlefields will give a unique feel to all the guns, and you need to be very mindful of that. The tracking shot. The tracking shot is actually important because it links what it means to be a great assault player to sniping. The best way to become a better sniper is to become a better assault player. Ever notice that great assault players can snipe just as easily? It is because their overall tracking is very strong. When you track, you're doing your best to follow every precise movement of where you want your shot to be. As an assault player, you're just spraying bullets. And with a sniper, you're tracking, and once you decide to, you take the shot. Tracking is one of those skills that is actually the hardest, but can build some of the strongest foundations for better comfort with your mouse and aim overall. So do not stop practicing your overall tracking skill because it's one of the shots we utilize the least of, and of course it is vital for growing. Give it a try and realize that even with a moving target, just how difficult it can be even when scoped in to track. The drag shot. Now for the next shot, it is a drag shot, also known as a flick shot or snapshot. This shot is utilized as a reactionary means. You can look at this shot as a tracking shot sped up, catching up mechanic if you will, because you may have predicted the shot, but now you need to adjust where the enemy has adjusted to. Since it is a catch-up mechanic, you need fast movement, or the amount of time to nail the shot is limited due to remaining health, or the amount of time the opponent will be visible. This is not a shot where you should default on, as it has the biggest room for error. There could be the case where you use a lead shot and it's better. You do not want to try to drag shot on an 80-80 spammer unless you 100% can predict it. If you're already super pressured in a situation, of course unable to clutch it out and are still learning, then not the best shot to utilize. Note that 80-80 spammers that their movement is already unpredictable at times, and your goal is to try to find a quick pattern. Guess where they're going to be, and by doing it a drag shot, you're most likely going to fail unless you find that pattern. Also, of course, of nailing a kill, you know for a fact where they're going to be, memorize the shot, and build up a huge level of confidence for somebody to use this shot. Drag shots in history have always been those flashy shots and break out in a clutch moment because that is what their purpose is for, getting you out of those nasty situations. Now, unfortunately for this shot, it is not one where you will get to practice live often, which is why I created a full guide and tutorial for this shot so you can practice it. I have that link in the description down below as well. Remember, with drag shots, you have to compensate for that velocity and bullet drop, so you need to drag depending on the distance, not to their head, but where they're going to be, depending on the velocity of the gun. Which is why it is better to use a lead shot so you can predict these shots and learn it, unless you have done it so many times that you could just drag to it and react faster. But always remember to ensure you can have a 100% solidify the kill. If you do not get the kill, then doing something flashy is useless. Now for the next shots, are not impossible, but you just need to find a comfort level, and if you're going to be honest, are the shots that come down to a bit of luck. The pop shot. For this shot is called a quick scope or pop shot. You have no time to even switch to a sidearm or drag shot, so you're going to have to just do a quick shot to the head and hope for a kill. The best way to pull off the shot is by having your cursor already where you can guess the head is going to be. It's like utilizing a lead shot, but where you cannot hold your crosshairs down on a specific spot and wait. This is not something you pull off 10 out of 10 times, but you can practice enough on an empty server and just know where your crosshairs are going to be. As you can see from the clip, it's a shot where you just pop and pray because nothing else in this situation will work, but you have no time to do anything else. It's not a shot where you run around and do over and over, as the spread, skill, and luck involved is really high. All guides will tell you to keep your crosshairs centered, and this is where you capitalize on that tip. The Noscope. Now, one of the most popular and hardest to pull off is the Noscope. Well, this shot has the biggest RNG when it comes to Battlefield compared to some other games in the franchise. The bullet has a number of locations it can go, as you can see on screen, by just shooting an empty wall. The pop shot is a better reactionary tool in this case than the Noscope, since it helps hone in on the accuracy part. The closer the target is, the better chance you have at the Noscope being successful, as you can see from this specific clip. The pop shot and Noscope are very much interchangeable, and you can predict where the bullet will go, but remember, you have to face the path of luck on this shot. So the best way to practice is to ensure you are always properly aligned and ask yourself, is this shot worth going for? Do I have the time to zoom in? And also, would a pop shot work better in this situation? Some go for this when surprised by an enemy in RNG and the bullet could have hit the head. Some go for this for the flashiness of the kill. And the most common is when peeking a corner and you need a quick peek shot, as shown here. The best shots for a peek shot are a quick Noscope, a pop shot, or a drag shot to adjust for where you think they're going to be based on slicing the pie. The jump shot. In every game, you can tie a movement to a snipe shot. Some games it's jumping, sliding, prone diving, or even associated with maybe vehicle switching. Adding everything together in Battlefield, the current best meta, I would say, is the jumping shot. With a jump shot, you can predict a bit more of where the shot is going to land. The problem with snipers is that if they hit anything other than the head, you most likely will just hit marker and die. But it's a great way to get the little jump on the enemy and do a bit of damage before switching to a sidearm or following up with a second shot. Just keep in mind, if you jump too high, you're going to go into a rolling animation, so you better know the enemy does not see you yet, otherwise you're most likely going to die. The movement is extremely fast. You can do several things in the air. You can either no-scope it, hard-scope it, or quick-scope. The hard-scope is the most reliable out of the bunch, as others not only have to spread of just normal no-scope, of praying for perfect accuracy, of also a quick-scope, but now as add a layer of luck due to the jump. The hard scope is the most reliable out of the bunch, as others not only will have the spread of just, of course, a normal no scope and praying for the perfect accuracy of a quick scope, but now you also have the added layer due to the jump. Before I go into kill trains, I want to talk briefly about the collateral. It is extremely popular when you get the multi-kill, but let's be honest, these shots can also be just mostly luck, as you're relying on the enemy making the mistake and lining up for you. You can wait for the enemy to suck and hope it happens, but remember, collats just happen, and you can't really force them as much as people think. Some do go for flanks, or predicting where bad enemies will go to line up for that nice triple or double, such as Rotterdam lining up on the end of the bridge. But it's not something, unless you want to create a montage or highlights, you're probably going to see yourself go for often. So now I want to chat about how you can chain all this together and how you can keep kill feeds, clips, or kill trains all together. It is something I do in my videos quite often, where I line up kill after kill, and you may wonder and ask, how does someone manage this? Well, I want to share my secrets and thought process and how I achieve this. The first tip is always to stay calm. Usually, you get overjoyed and excited when you get that first nasty kill, but the reality is there is always someone lined up ready to kill you, or another squad mate just spawn on them. By freaking out, you will only lose control of the situation. You have to maintain control and already be scouting for the next target. If you saw multiples to engage, prioritize who should be first, and scanning on how you're going to handle the next engagement and be in that 1v1. Now, my next thing, it sounds counterintuitive, but during the situations you're not thinking, but you're reacting based on the previous knowledge on various shots. You should already have all this in your back pocket. If you think, you're just going to cause pressure and anxiety and lose precious seconds. If you hesitate too much, then it's a clear sign you need to practice more and find comfort. The more time you waste, the more time you'll lose the point stack, kill spree, and opportunities. Let me showcase some of my longest feeds. We'll use the Bolt Action King and talk about my process. One of the biggest things is never look at the point stack. If you got a headshot, who you killed, how it happened, who cares how it happens? You don't have time to react right now. So for the initial part of this clip, I did do a flank around, and my overall goal was to catch everyone off guard. That is the first kill, as the guy has no idea where I'm coming from because I kind of just snuck in there, as my enemy team is all behind me and to the right of me. I'm using whatever cover I can, such as the metal spikes, and use a small drag shot to get the next target. I was going to do a lead shot for this guy, but he decided to move, and I had to do a quick drag shot for the adjustment. I then switched to my sidearm just in case I missed that shot, but luckily I snagged it, and that did pay off as I was ready for the next engagement. I took him out quickly with a pistol as the enemy was overwhelmed as understanding what in the world happened here. I knew I had bullets left in the sniper, ignored the feed, and kept going to see who else might be nearby, as it seemed like people were obviously here and spawning. I got the next shot by just going for a standard shot as he was just standing still. Saw the next person and aimed to go for maybe a possibly lead shot, but he was standing still, so I kind of just tracked to his head just to find the easiest way to get this kill. Knowing I was out of ammo for the revolver, I used a knife to clean up what I could. I'm keeping my reload going here, and if somebody surprises me, my plan was to switch to my sidearm and go back to reloading to use whatever ammo I did reload into the sniper. I'm also circling this rock to use as a quick escape for positioning. Overall, I felt very confident as the enemy was really caught off guard, and I was taking a look at the minimap to see if enemies were nearby, and I do look towards the rock as that is where all they're looking, and I see a target and get a quick kill. I go for this shot and try to lead it, but I clearly fail. I'm purposely reloading here to get a full clip just in case I pop off again. I don't want to be caught with no ammo. I want a full clip going into the next engagement. I see where overall people are engaging in search for the enemy. I'm keeping high movement and jumping just to keep myself hard to hit as I have no cover. I use a jump into a not exactly a quick scope, but a mix of a pop shot and a normal tracking shot. I got for somewhat of a drag shot towards the head. He was moving unpredictably and it gets a body kill, which is fine. At least I killed him. Now I use a knife here because if you saw, I tried to line up a noscope really quickly, like prior for like a millisecond, but because he was unpredictable, I felt like I couldn't snag the shot, and so I just threw the knife in hopes to God that I just hit him anywhere in the body, and luckily it did pay off. So even a pop shot or a noscope wouldn't have worked, because even if I hit the body, then I would have died. See the shots and quickly enough for a quick headshot here while moving best I can. And that really is the end of the crazy feat. I throw the knife just as like, thank God I survived, like how in the world did all that happen? A lot went down, I did have some luck, but I made some decisions in terms of positioning, looking where my friendlies were, and then based on reloads ensured that I came into the situation with full ammo, and I switched to my pistol whenever I felt like I probably wasn't going to get the kill, but as a default to ensure that I had something. So now this is a full tutorial on various shot styles and cases. See which one of them you're weakest on and practice by going into the test range, using aim booster, record your footage, or aim hero. Remember, the surefire way to improve is by literally practicing, and repetition, nothing else can really substitute that. If you cannot identify the issue, ask a friend, coach, family member, anybody who understands the game, look at the death and tell you what you seem to be struggling with. Remember to always be welcome to feedback, because that's how we improve, and no one's gameplay is perfect at all times. Even I have bad days. It's what you do on the bad days is what makes you a better player. If you have questions, please do not hesitate to reach out in the comment section down below. I'll respond to all your comments. Others will definitely provide insight if I cannot, and I look forward to discussing everything and also in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, a dislike if you didn't, and yeah, thanks again for watching.